think we're good to go. Sweet, man. Well, we're live, and I can edit some of this stuff out. We can make it all cool. But
Right.
yeah, everybody, welcome to another episode of Unfiltered and Out There. Got a super sweet guest today. If you want to introduce yourself, Will Rowden. Is that what Rowden?
Yeah, yeah.
Roden?
Some people say Roden, but they are incorrect. It's Rowden, Will Rowden. My social media is all over the place because I stupidly called it Squillz, which was my nickname, and then my Instagram is Will Rowden one. My YouTube is like Will Rowden 4695, whatever. So basically, I don't know what to call myself, but my name's Will Rowden, and I play a bit of drums, and yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing on social media.
That's awesome, man. So you're over
Yeah.
you're over in England, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's shit here. I wouldn't recommend ever visiting if you haven't.
So, I mean, real quick, I got a question. I've always heard this. I've never been to the UK, but I've met a lot of people that are from there. I've worked with some people from over there. And, I believe them because they all say it's true. They're like, hey, we don't have any air conditioning like units and stuff over here. I'm like, is it really not that hot or y'all just
Dude,
like the
we do
heat,
not need air
like,
conditioning. We do not need air conditioning at all. We need heaters, log fires, fucking jumpers, and that's kind of it. The only thing we've ever needed is so much as a fan in the height of summer. So yeah, we're good
dang.
if you like
So
being
it's
cold.
not that hot in the summer.
No, well, I mean, like people, as soon as the summer hits, everyone freaks out. They're like, "Oh my God, it's 28 degrees. Fuck, the world's coming to an end." It's like, it's not that hot. Let's just chill out and
Dude, it's like
enjoy
that
it.
here in South Carolina. If it gets to
Really?
28 degrees, no shit, bro. Like, cause it's hot as hell here. They call it the armpit of the South or like,
Yeah, yeah.
freaking Satan's sauna. I don't know, but it's hot. And it gets 28 degrees and people are outside praying in the streets. I saw this dude cussing out a tree when it snowed a few weeks back. He's like, why the fuck would it snow? He's like, I didn't fucking plan for this. And he was just getting mad at the snow. And I'm like, you're my hero, man. You know that?
You
It's
gotta take your
awesome.
anger out on
You
something,
know?
man. You gotta take your anger out on the weather, the trees, anything you can.
Yeah, man, that's cool. So you're born and raised in the UK, yeah? Been there your whole
Yeah,
life?
I haven't led a terribly exciting life. Well, I suppose I have really in a way, but I don't. Yeah, I born and raised in the UK. I still live at home because my home is really nice. I mean, I live in like this annex off my home, and it's like country fields everywhere and really pretty place.
That's
So
cool, man.
yeah, so that's kind of why I didn't bother trying to move out because the house prices in England now are crazy. So, if I wanted to move out somewhere, it'd have to be really desperate. And, I haven't reached that point yet where I want to move out. And I
Yeah,
bought
you're
a
kind of
boat
like
as
in
well.
God's
So I
country
bought a
there,
fishing
bro.
boat.
I say you're kind of like in God's country there, just seeing that little scenic view, man.
Oh
It
yeah,
looks
man,
pretty out there,
it's heaven.
peaceful.
It's paradise here. It's absolutely like, yeah, the best place to be. So I can't complain.
Well, let me ask, man. So, how long have you been? I guess seeing your drums, dude. I mean, I saw your videos pop up. I think it was on TikTok, and I
Yeah.
immediately was just like, I get so tired. This is definitely an American thing, but I'm sure it goes around the world. But I've never like clicked with that philosophy because I'm half Native American, so I'm like, it's a little, conflicting. I'm like, well, I don't know if I agree with everything they're saying, but
Yeah.
people get so they have this mentality. America, I think, is one of the greatest countries in the world, but the people here certainly don't truly embody that. I'm like, you're kind of fucking it up. It could be this
Yeah.
great place, but you're over here complaining about how you can't do something because you're worried about what people think or this, that, and another. They just give up so easy. Seeing you, dude, playing drums, man, with that, you being
Well,
in a
that's
wheelchair. I wasn't asking, how long have you been, I guess,
That's
in
yeah,
this
that's really kind
condition?
of you to that's really kind of you to say that about I bet like honestly I have the same crippling self-doubt that I'm sure stops everyone else from doing this. And I still like this week I haven't recorded anything because I'm like, oh, nothing's quite good enough. Like, now I know there's people watching. I'm getting a bit of stage fright almost, and I'm like, oh God. So it's not, it is. I do have all those doubts still, but I think that the reason I'm still doing it is because I'm seeing so many like benefits from it that initially thought it was just going to be like me showing how I do it and like trying to improve myself. But what I actually realized is that there's a loads of community of drummers and musicians out there, and it's brought so many people together, like people that make design,
Yeah.
just kind
I
of
mean, you're
thing.
seeing you play, dude. It's just, I'm here to tell you, like, especially drummers, man. I mean, I don't know about many other instruments. I've played in bands and stuff, but, I've never met a lot of drummers. I've been playing for like 24 years and I'm not this crazy drummer, but I love playing. It's like one of those things that I've always just I was 5 years old watching Animal from the Muppets like eat his drum
Yeah,
set on stage, and I'm like, whoa, okay, I got to get into that, and
yeah.
it's
Drums are the
drummers
coolest
have never
instrument.
been so yeah. It's definitely, I'm
100%.
biased. It's the best instrument, but it's okay.
Yeah, you can blag at
No,
things
you're
and
not
make sure you
wrong at
don't
all,
cut
man.
mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got so many different types of drummers like that just play their own style, and people are like, whoa, where'd this come from? And I'm like, you could tell the guy doesn't know theory, but everyone loves John Bonham. He didn't
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
learn music theory. He's one of those great rock and roll drummers. Then you look at guys like Neil Peart, who knew theory in and out. He was master of
Yeah,
time, but both
yeah,
are
yeah.
equally great in my eyes because they're both doing what they love and they're producing great rock and roll, like
That's
it's
all about,
awesome.
man. Their
Yeah,
version. That's
yeah,
you, like, as
dude, they
drummers out
are. But
there.
Chad Smith, who's on there, he doesn't
Yeah,
know a lot of music theory. And he kind of
no, that's
changed the
true.
Chili Peppers when he
He's one of
joined.
my
He's a
shirings in
groovy
it.
dude, man. He's like, oh, this is a
Yeah,
chill song. Now we're blast beating it, whatever.
you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, he's definitely got it's like an art form. He's out there dancing on the drum set, it's cool. Watching these guys play, especially him, man. He's a character. I've never seen them live. It's in the list of people to see, but he's definitely one of my favorites on Drumeo. Because they give him that song by who was it, Limp Bizkit, and he was just like, hell is this? He's like, whatever, I'm gonna find something for it. I think we got some audio out real quick on your end. Let's see here. We can fix it all right. Can you hear me? I can't hear you currently. It's all good. He's in literally heaven right now in the UK. And God's like, we're gonna take a pause on the microphone. It's okay though. We're enjoying this. Hold on, I'm gonna see if there's something on my end to get your audio back. Sweet, we're back.
Sorry about that, man. My internet is.
Yeah, that's how it is, man. Internet can just be crappy sometimes, but it's all good, man. So let me ask you too. So you like Drumeo and Chad Smith? Like, what got you into playing drums? What was that iconic drummer or whatever it was you saw that made you just want to play?
It was a combination of, I think, Jose Psillas from Incubus. Incubus?
Oh yeah,
Like, yeah, yeah. So I was obsessed with that band. Their album Science, I just think is the best album of all time. And I was just, yeah, just obsessed with Incubus. And I loved the way the drum, Jose Psillas was kind of, the delicacy that he played. It was just like, I was obsessed with that kind of, it's hard to describe, man. But also Chad Smith as well, like just bringing the soul and the passion to music. And I always wanted to be I knew I wanted to be in music. I write songs, I've been in bands. I think the first instrument I tried to learn was like the violin. That didn't go so well. Then I learned the cornet, which is like a small version of a trumpet. And then eventually I was like, you know what? I just really want to play the drums. That's kind of my calling. And my brother's friend had a kit and I think I was 14 and I saw it and I was in a wheelchair by this stage and I was like, there's got to be a way for me to work the bass pedal. So I just kind of did a wheelie and put my brakes on and put my front wheel on the bass drum. And there and then he kind of managed to teach me like a basic 4/4 rock beat. And then I was like, okay, look, I've got this. This is my instrument. Like, this is what I've been waiting for. So that was when I started doing lessons and started getting in bands. And it was just like, yeah, I found what I was, put here to do. And it's annoying because I'm not very good still. And I feel like I've wasted a lot of my life doing music production and trying to write songs when really I should have been like disciplining myself to get better at the drums, because I think that's the thing that I feel most kind of alive doing. But I did think that my disability would hold me back with drumming. I did think that I'd never be good enough to like be drummer for the Chili Peppers or Foo Fighters because my hands are a bit numb. I work the bass drum pedal with my wheelchair, so I was thinking I'll just keep drumming as a hobby. But what I didn't realize is that by putting my videos out there, even though I'm not very good, it has become something that could be professional, because even though I'm not very good, it could potentially help others become good and help others kind of put people together and create a community that, may not have happened had I not kind of like really pushed for this. Yeah, just basically, I'm not very good. But I'm hoping that I
no,
can
man, I'll
inspire
definitely
other
keep
people to
keep
be.
beating yourself up saying that, bro. I'm here to
Oh,
tell you,
no, I
like,
think
it's
self doubt is kind of I think it's an intrinsically English thing. We're riddled with self doubt. It's also not a bad thing because like it means that we're always trying to like get better, always trying to improve.
yeah.
So hopefully I'll get better. We'll
I
see.
live by the philosophy of, fail big. I love failure. I'm weird. I say that at work. I'm like, yo, go fail. They're like, what the hell? I'm like, yeah. Because if you fuck something up, like me, it's like someone can't teach me something as easy as myself. So if I mess something up and I gave it my all and I failed, I'm like, oh, I know exactly what to do to get it right now. It's like I saw what I did wrong, you know, and
Yeah,
it's
and you learn from your mistakes.
yeah, but I mean, there's so many musicians out there, man, and kids out there. I mean, whenever I play drums, I used to teach kids, and I'm not like a crazy drummer, but I love teaching kids because I look at the next wave of a generation that's about to come, no matter where it's at in the world. I know every country differs in things, but either way, these are little brains with sponges, and I'm like, regardless of who's in the president here, that and another. It's like Eddie Van Halen and those guys, that was like in the 1980s. So that time period's getting further and further away. So it's up to like people like us to bridge that gap, be like, hey, music today is
Yeah,
okay, but you need to listen to this guy from like 50 years ago and go and worship
yeah.
that. That's what you need to listen to. We're kind of like showing
But I
the,
think a lot of kids are off doing that. Like you've seen Nandi Bushell she's like I think she was like 11 years old when she drummed with the Foo Fighters in Wembley. Have you
oh,
seen
yeah.
this kid? She's from England, and she's just like insane on the drums. So
Yeah,
there is a
Dave
generation
Grohl's
like
so cool.
she is absolutely unreal. Like she's better on the drums than I will ever be, which is depressing in a way, but also
Yeah,
incredible.
kids can pick stuff up super quick, man. I've definitely been around a few kids throughout just playing drums. This dude was like 12. I can't remember his name. I was up in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was like this big music expo about a decade ago, and he was sitting there playing, and I'm just thinking like, can somebody go like push him like, off his drums and hurt him so that way
Yes.
you slow him down a little bit? Like, what the hell, dude? Like, how you doing that? You're 12. Like, I can't even do
Nice.
that with 2 feet. And you're over here with like, wheelchair. And I'm like, damn it, I can't keep 4-4 some days. So it's like, it's inspiring to me because I do comedy. I love, what you said earlier about feeling like you've wasted a lot of time and stuff. I can't relate to a lot of things, that you go through on a daily basis, but I can relate to that, because my whole life, I've loved music, but I also have always loved to make people laugh. And then it wasn't until about a year and a half ago when I got a divorce, I was like, man, I'm gonna go try stand-up comedy. I think I could do it. And then people loved it. They like keep calling me back to do open mics. And I'm just talking like some off the wall crap, And
Yeah.
it's been fun because it's given me hope that I didn't waste time because I see people enjoying what I'm doing. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm 31 years old now, but like the next 20 years are gonna be cool. It's like or what however long God wants me to be here.
Dude, I'm 33 and I'm still trying to figure out what my kind of purpose is on this earth. Like, I don't think anybody really knows. I think everyone changes. There is no sort of destiny. Life kind of just happens. Like you just take the rough with the smooth. And yeah, because it can make you really depressed when you feel like you don't have a proper path. You can, oh, what have I done with my life, or what am I going to do for the next 20 years? I really should have a proper career goal, but that's just going to make you like, yeah, feel, rotten. So I think it's better just to do what you love, and hopefully life will unfold the way you want it to. But sometimes it
Yeah,
doesn't
man. I
work.
mean, you're kind of living out my philosophy of, I love to make money, but I don't aspire to make a living, I aspire to try to make a difference, whether that's in music or a talk I have with someone or a podcast or comedy. I just try to impact people with whatever knowledge I do have. I'm not some Yale or Harvard graduate. I didn't even go to college. I'm like, hey, look, I can't remember the whole alphabet most days. I'm like, I'm working on it, and they're like, okay. I'm like, but I got some advice, you know,
Yeah,
and
dude, if
it's,
you can make me laugh, that's like the gift on earth. Like I would rather have someone who can make me laugh than some pounds in the bank sitting next to me. Like
yeah.
it's
And you
no
said
brainer,
you,
man.
you thought about doing comedy yourself too, man.
Yeah, I did. I was doing quite well. I did stuff in London and stuff. But it was just like a switch that went off, and I was like, I don't need to do that. I don't need to try and make people laugh. It was a sort of a heal after a relationship ended, and I was like, I need to figure out what because I felt like a water when the relationship ended. I was like, holy shit. I thought that was my future, and now I'm nothing basically. Like, what the fuck? So I kind of figure out who I was to do that. I was like, right, what's the skill?
Dude, that's awesome. I'll tell you, any open mics and stuff I've done, the favorite thing of mine that I've always loved, and I love Matt Rife's joke on this. It's one of the this is all America in this joke. Whenever he talks about the him making fun of he's like, you got two people in a room. In America you've got all these, diversity, inclusion, all that stuff. I don't know how that is in the UK, but like it's like you've got this, to each his own. I'm not going to judge anyone, but like I'm going to, enjoy his joke he made on this bit where he's like, you got a transvestite in a room and then someone who's in a wheelchair. Okay, he's like in America, it's like the people that are like the on that side of the aisle that are like he basically, have you heard the joke that he said about this? It's so funny, man. So
So yeah,
basically, the transvestites over here complaining about how much life sucks, and the wheelchair guy's sitting right beside her, and she's just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Nobody likes me. I'm gonna just go and jump off the ledge. And he looks at her and is like, jump. It's the lack of perspective.
yeah,
It's the everyone,
yeah,
and it's definitely American. I've never. I'm planning to do a lot of international travel just to meet people and see the world, because it's so crazy that people just give up so easy here. Like, and I know you're saying in the UK, it's like it's definitely a common thing over there to have that self doubt, and it is here
yeah,
too. But it's a lot of it's not over serious things. So here it's like over, oh man, my car, the wheels are going bald, and it could be the most random thing that people just, it's the littlest stuff over here. And I tell them, I'm like,
yeah. I
look,
think
you don't have to be,
there's a bit of a problem with Western, which is like we've got life a bit too easy. So
yeah,
it, if you go to somewhere like Africa, I went to see the Masai Mara, the African tribe. They'd never heard
yeah,
of mental illness, never heard of depression. It's because they're too busy trying to fucking survive. We've got it so cushy. We, you know, life a bit like difficult to find a purpose because instead of getting like every day waking up, got to get water, got to fend off a lot.
yeah,
So
yeah. It's definitely, and part of that could be too with me. Half my family is Native American, so it's like I'm like half Native American and half Irish. So it's like a
right,
horrible mixture of like fire and water. It's like what, and
yeah,
it's so it gives me a lot of cool perspective, but like it's always interesting, to meet people around, and I appreciate you, taking time to be on this podcast, dude. I was really excited just to meet and chat with you and just hear all about your stories and like, dude, I'm here to tell you, your music isn't bad at all, dude. It's kicking ass. I like it.
thanks,
I
man.
listen to it. I share it. My friends are like, anytime I share your stuff with some of my American friends, they're like, they'll literally tell me. I had someone the other day tell me, they're like, he's got a wheelchair and you can't do that. And I'm like, okay, we're not friends anymore. And I'm just like, so it's,
Do that on TikTok, but each one of those probably took me like 40 takes to get right on.
and
I'm a
you're
bit of a
using the
perfectionist.
Yamaha EAD, right?
Yeah, the Yamaha EAD10, which is great. It's really kind of helped, my recording and playing wherever
Dude, I
you.
use one too. They're beast. However
Yeah,
Yamaha made it, I don't know. It's alien. It's freaking cool though.
listen to some links and stuff, and this thing just does it all. So it's great.
Yeah, and I just crank the compression up, and it like, I just down tune everything, and it picks up the kit, throws some little like dampening gels on the cymbals, so that way they don't just eat everything, and
I need to get some of
sounds a little
this.
saucy.
Yeah, a little too much pepper. Uh, yeah, so there's then notes. The one that I made there is just me some gaffer tape. I've basically just gaffer taped a bit of wood to the thing and ruined it. So it's gonna build me a better one that is A, it looks good, and B, can be universally used by other wheelchair users. That it's gonna be just a clamp basically that just attaches the front wheel.
Well, dude, you're making a difference in just the pedal, man, because I feel like someone being in a wheelchair wants to play drums, and they're just like, depending on the condition, they're like, okay, I got it from like waist up, but how do I keep a beat with my feet? You're like putting the
Yeah,
puzzle piece together to help people, and next
exactly.
thing
And
you
I
know,
think
that'll be a
I've been doing this. Never thought of sharing it with anyone. I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe other people benefit from this as well. So, but what was I going to say? Yeah, it's interesting that like I noticed definitely when I became paralyzed, there is a big push for people to become like, join a wheelchair basketball team, join a wheelchair rugby team, join wheelchair this, wheelchair that. There's never really much push to be like, you are an individual, you could do this, you could do that. Here's the guys that could help you out. Something I really want to try and change or change the perspective of like people in wheelchairs can do everything else that everything that anyone else can do. You do it, yeah.
yeah. I have a
That's
friend of
what.
mine who's also in a wheelchair, and he was telling me a few years ago that he like refuses to be in those groups like the wheelchair basketball and stuff. He's like,
Yeah,
nothing
man.
wrong with him. He's like, some people need him. He's like, I just want to roll on about my day and just be in society as if I were just like, you know what I mean? Like a cyborg. And
Yeah,
I'm
man.
like,
That's
that's
kind of
cool.
what
I was
that's
like,
what I was doing. That's what I was doing when I was a kid. I was like, I'm really disabled, therefore I will distance myself so much for thing disabled. Like I would never join anything. But now I'm thinking, holy shit, despite me really disliking all of that, these people do exist, and they are, they are all like I should not have. I feel bad for this self too much because I feel like I could probably help. Well, maybe now is for me to kind of the word like reattach myself to like wheelchair groups and be like, hey, because I very much like anti, which seems really mean. Like it seems hard. I mean,
no,
things like yeah. It's, yeah, but dude, imagine if you broke your leg. If you broke your leg tomorrow, imagine if someone like everyone said, right, you need to go and hang out with everyone else in the world who's on a leg. Like it's almost like flirting, which is what I didn't like. It's forcing people who wouldn't naturalize of have to mingle. Like I went on a disabled skiing trip, and it was like me with someone else cerebral palsy, someone who was like had a stroke. Like they kind of put everyone together, which I think is really wrong because like someone like me is not going to have anything in common with someone who's barely able to like well maybe that's harsh but like at the time when I was a kid like why am I being put in this club with other people and I think that's
well,
it's
dude, and
wrong
it's
like
so
everyone
bad
is
in
an
America
individual.
to where people that maybe want to join those type groups and stuff, or even get funding for like, hey, I'm recently handicapped. I can't afford all these things that come with that. And that funding goes to stupid shit in America, not in the state I live in. I live in a very conservative state. Because where the movie The Patriot was filmed, I know that may be close to home. That's the whole Revolutionary War movie, but it's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's like in the middle of the swamps in the low country here in America, and it's beautiful. But you got places like California and New York that take taxpayer money and they're like, hey, if you want to do meth or heroin, hey, you can go do it at this government facility. Well, you have a wheelchair,
It's
we can't
bad.
help you. That guy needs to do drugs. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, what? Like, and it's like just it's become so weird in some of these areas. It's like
Yeah,
not
it
even
does
so
seem a
much
little
just
unfair.
that's definitely an America thing. I don't think that's probably universal around the world. That's some left wing, and I don't care too much politically. I do vote conservatively. Like I said, I voted for Trump, because
Yeah,
I like values of peace, solid business, and
less killing which is kind of his main thing like we're going to stop people dying that's something to vote for
yeah,
surely.
that's a great one. Yeah, everyone who's like, no, go to war. I'm like, what? Get away from me. Like, we shouldn't be
Yeah
in
man, I
half
mean
this crap
if it
anyway.
was just
Yeah.
man
Russian
war is
flag.
a
On a
thing.
crazy perspective too, I wasn't in the military, and I tried to join. A lot of my family was special forces, Navy, and things like that. And there's so much like I can only imagine what other countries think because at least American soldiers, 90%. I'm sure there's 10% of them are like dickheads, but like they not at all like the hierarchy that runs them. It's so crazy because yeah, it's this great
What's it
military,
like?
but like
So if they're given an order, they have the moral right to say that we're not going to do that. Is that what you're saying?
not really. But that's one cool thing I love about the American soldier mentality is they're like, no, fuck you, I'm not killing that child. You know what I
That's
mean? And they
that's
and they're like,
that's
what are
kind
you
of
gonna do?
refreshing because yeah, that's really refreshing. I thought all soldiers were just trained to just follow orders and that's this
Well, and you
horrible
see
mess.
that on the news, but like I have family that was special forces, and like I'm saying, in different branches, and I got friends, and
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah,
it's
I mean,
like
man,
this
if
is
someone
not a
gave you a gun, like if someone gave you a gun and said, right, you got to put a bullet in this person's head, you knew they had done some terrible shit. Would you be able to do it? Do you think we'll trigger and like end someone's like damn insane, man? I think I would definitely struggle to take a life. Uh, I don't know. I would certainly be pretty fucked up or
no. I mean, I
quandary.
couldn't just go kill someone. It's moral
So how
compass
do
is
we
big.
brainwash the
It's
entire war even?
desensitized world, man. It's the movies we watch and stuff, and it's like I'll watch an action movie, and I love action movies because I know it's a movie. Like people aren't actually dying. I'm not sitting there like, yeah, I'm gonna go get a gun and go practice this in the street. No, I'm gonna watch it and enjoy the flick, and then it's over. But a lot of these kids grow up in America. A lot of the kids in my generation were good, but it's the generation right after. A lot of them don't have dads. The dads just
Right.
give up. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna have a kid, but I'm not gonna commit." So they have no fathers. So they're these little children, mainly young men, are searching for any kind of father figure. And most of the times they find the wrong one, and then you end up with all these gangs and crap and stuff like that. And it's not it's just weird how it happens.
It was the one that matters, really.
I'm going to do my research and try and
Yeah, man.
figure it out the best I can if I want to care
This is what
about
you do
whatever
then.
it
Do you
is.
do you find
No, dude, they would
stories?
they would cancel me off the news in a second, dude. I don't judge anyone. It's always just a joke, but it's like it hurts everyone's feelings over here. Over here they're not very resilient anymore when it comes to having their general like there's no one knows how to laugh in the face of adversity. Like they have something bad
Oh
happen
yeah.
in life. They don't know how to find a way to it doesn't mean you're not going to suffer, but they don't know how to cope. They don't know how
Dude,
to
I'm just
like
grabbing a
find a
glass of
way
water, Billy.
to smile and keep going forward or at least try. And they're like, oh, that hurt my feelings, so I'm just gonna ruin your life. And it's just medians over here. This is mainly who they've been attacking, and like Joe Rogans and people like that. They're like, we're not swaying anyone's vote. It's America. We have freedom of speech. We're just talking on podcasts or doing stand up. You chose to show up and take it out of context. That's on you, man. Why are you getting all
Yeah.
like, your feelings hurt? Like, it was just a joke, you know?
Yeah, man.
And
I
it's
think
just so
what's
crazy.
interesting is that like we watched what happened in America with like the vote where everyone, the vast majority, like a huge majority voted for them. And here in England, people are like, no, well, they're just idiots. Like they don't know what they're talking about. Like the arrogance that I've seen of people in England to think that their vote doesn't count because in their eyes, they've got it wrong or they're too stupid. Like it's unbelievable the voters' choice, and I think you made the right one. Like definitely.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree. Now, y'all share a similar form of democracy when it comes to voting, but you have the queen. So wait, now that take it all back. You got the queen. I
Had the
forgot.
Queen. She's 6 feet under now, but yeah, we did have the
Oh,
Queen.
yep,
Now we've
yep.
got
Sorry. Yep.
King Charles, who's a twat. No, I don't really. I'm not a royalist at all. I don't even. Yeah, I find politics is like in our country. It's become very very like muddied. We don't really know whether the left are the left or the right are the right. We just have both Conservatives and Labour are both just full of idiots. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have a direction. So it's up to people. That's why we've got like slightly extreme like sounding parties that are emerging, like the Reform Party, where they're like, "Oh, like, we'll get a direction. We're gonna do this." And like to be fair, I'd probably vote for them. Like they actually just sound like if they're with the plot and they've got a plot and they know what they're doing. This is just like waffling, achieving anything. So it's I think we'll probably have a bit of a shift in our country, a bit like what happened with you guys, where it'll shift to the right again. We'll be like, okay, there's only two.
Yeah, I
It's
mean
the same
that's
as
a
we've been
bunch of
saying with
bullshit.
everything.
Like
I
I
mean,
got
yeah, it's just
nieces.
why? How did we get so stupid that we had to get someone to tell us? But
Yeah, I call it the alphabet mafia, bro. Every damn week it's a new letter, and I'm like, yo, I'm not judging you, but like, don't expect me to remember your fucking letter. Like, I'm like, I don't care.
have you ever
Like,
encountered
do your
people in
thing,
America?
dude, all the time. I refuse to put pronouns on anything. Never have, never will. Never took the vaccines, any of that
Good
crap.
man.
And
All
and
right.
I don't judge anyone that does. I'm just like, I'm a healthy person, and if I get it, then I'm like, my body will fight it off, or I'll die. I don't know. I just don't. It seemed all crazy, but people over here, dude, they get like they will, and it's the funniest thing. I have so many jokes about people like just losing their crap over like, you know, I tell people being in the South of America, like the southern states, we have this very strong southern etiquette where we open the doors for people and we let, ladies in first. And, maybe a lot of it derives from English culture. I would imagine it came
Yeah.
from somewhere, saying yes, ma'am, and yes.
Yeah. So what your chivalry is being spat back at you. So it's like you try and be
Yeah.
kind and chivalrous, but actually like, oh, maybe you're a patriarch, or maybe you're a
Oh, yeah.
fascist, yeah, to hold for some woman. Like it seems no one knows what their principles are anymore. It seems like everyone's like, and very tribalistic as well. So you're either, part of the pro-Trump, anti-vax kind of end of the spectrum, or you're very much a pro-vax, pro-wearing masks, pro-lockdowns, pro-downs, pro-war, root
Yeah,
for this.
it is,
Like you're with
man.
us.
Well, especially being here during 2020, it was so crazy, man, because I know the whole world was crazy, but like my state never shut down. I love that about our governor here. He's just like, especially when Biden got in office, he's like, I don't care. He's like, we're a state, which was part of America's founding, is we wanted to have not just a country, but states that have certain things they could do differently, which is really cool about America, which is like if you
Yeah.
want to be called it or whatever, just go to New York, have a nice time.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like
but
we should do
why
that
spend your
with our
life here
we
being mad?
we should do that if you want to identify as a helicopter, go live in London. If you want to
Yeah.
just be normal, live in South. Like
Yeah. So where are you in relation to London? Are you close? Are you further south or?
I'm like an hour's drive below London by about an hour. Have you heard of Southampton? They were a terrible football. You know
Yeah.
where the are going to London?
No, if I ever went over there too, like all the places I want to explore, it's never the. If I go to Rome, I don't care about Rome. I want to go to the Vatican and be like, hey, let me in the archives. Like like they'll probably kill me. I'm like, I just want to see that you have proofs of aliens, man. I know you got it in there. They're hiding all this stuff. It's like a city inside of a city. I'm like, what the hell?
They have got some weird untold truths, and you reckon they've got
I think it's
some.
like the Americans Area 51 thing, but the Vatican.
I
I
reckon
think
it's just done, or just just full of shit. I just think it's yeah. I
it
reckon
could
you
be.
go in there with an absolute anticlimax, just like a bunch of old tax returns and nothing of any.
That'd be freaking awesome. You
Surely, if
just
you
like
found
you
aliens,
go
wouldn't
in
you want
there.
to? It's
Well,
like
let me
saying, look,
ask you too,
I've got
man.
the
So, what's your take on aliens? Because America's been around for I guess about 300 years, a little less. My math is messed up, but like we see so many sightings in America. Here in Scotland are like top two, but I'm like it's kind of weird. Your part of me, I had a theory years ago. Maybe I believe in aliens. I don't know what they are, but like maybe they're coming here because we have all these nuclear warheads and they're just like flying over, Earth and they're just like, whoa, weird heat signatures from this one little blob. Let's go down there. Whoa, why is it all over here? They're like all over the place. Let's go check that out, this out. Why is it so hot? Oh, it says warhead. Okay, go that way. Get away. Like, that's my theory why they come here so much if they do. It's because all the, you know, I mean, we definitely have the most when it comes to that kind of stuff. When it comes to like military funded war crap.
it's
Well, I
mad
can't
that humans
say.
hate each other so much that we've developed bomb that you could wipe out. It's mad that we've got to that stage. We've actually got a bomb that can destroy an entire city. It's just insane.
Yeah.
But in terms of aliens, do I believe in them? I don't know, man. I don't. I'm that kind of like fascinated by the possibility of, in order for me to even think about it. Like I know that up on the moon. Well, I don't know, but I've got a pretty good idea that up on the moon there is fuck all. That includes little Martians or anything. I've just got a feeling desolate lump of rock. And I think that anyone that goes to Mars, because there's that Mars mission that they're gonna like ship a load of people up. Well, they're fucking wasting their time. There's nothing up there. They're gonna
Yeah,
just
Mars
be
definitely
living in
looks
it.
dead.
They're gonna be like, all right, what are we gonna do? Well, not a lot. You can't do anything. It's just a suicide mission,
Yeah.
I think. So,
Why is
uh,
there nothing but volcanoes here? You said there was a beach, man. I saw the brochure. What the hell?
yeah, we're
I'm
expecting
missing
little
a foot now
Martian
because I stepped in
butlers.
that
I'm like,
lava.
yeah, little
Well, let me
Martian
ask you
butlers.
this.
Okay,
I've
go for
never
it.
asked anyone not in America this question because I don't believe America, because we went to the moon in 1969. Yeah, this big thing.
Allegedly. You think you did? No, man, it's fucking bullshit. All right. Yeah, bullshit. I just can't, if can't do, it, which is what,
Yeah.
60 years later? How the like, it's just so stupid. Like, so no, I don't believe we ever went. Um, So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. It's a strange race to like beat someone. It's a sort of like inferiority complex. They're like, yeah, we definitely beat. It was that they were Russia. I think they were trying to do the space race with.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just like it's just so we didn't go. Why haven't we been popping since? And why can't Elon
Oh yeah,
be
especially in
making
America,
this?
man. That's like we've got the lizard people, like reporting the news, and then we got people just like lying to us, and all over in all these freaking legislative offices. And I'm like, how do people not see past that? I'm like, are you that stupid? Like you went to Yale, like you spent my whole lifetime literally educating yourself, and you can't like see that that's bullshit, or even know to like
It's
go
almost like
look
the
into it.
people programmed now not to think for themselves. Like there's a lot of mob. You know what I was saying about like the tribalistic thing. Same with like mob mentality. It's like you're not thinking for yourself. A lot of these people aren't thinking for themselves. They're just thinking what is socially accepted as the right way to think. So like I fell out with a lot of my friends over loads of stuff like the COVID thing. I was like, I think that don't take it
Oh.
and
Well, and I think like, Trump said, he's like, look, clearly, there's this massive virus from China. He's like, we need to make a vaccine, but if you want to take it, that's up to you. We need to offer a solution for those who want it. But to
yeah,
force it, that's inhuman. I'm like, that's the point where it's like, yeah, you can make Tylenol all day and I'm taking ibuprofen, or like the alternative to that pain medication. And it's like, but to force it is very tyrannical. And I'm like, you all talk crap about Hitler and things like this and these government offices. I'm like, you kind of resemble the guy now that now,
yeah,
now that I look at you. I'm
exactly. There's
like,
so much
you're doing
hypocrisy,
the
isn't there?
same.
It's like,
Yeah, it's crazy. That's why I like music too, man. It's the only universal language in the world. Everyone knows music. Everyone's like, oh, that's Blink 182, or that's Incubus, or that's Aerosmith, or whatever it may be, and people can all
yeah,
relate to that, and that's a way to kind of come together with people with that. And it's always
yeah,
been that one thing where I'm like, well, at least we
yeah.
can
It
talk
can
about music.
the bullshit kind of what I find about like start playing the drums. I'm like, okay, forget all about that. It's just focusing on make sure you know there's self take your mind off things and yes, it's yeah, because a gift that we should
Yeah, it's a
be
little
very
bit of a
grateful for. I still don't know where the
connection
fuck
thing, really
if there's
quick.
if there's can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, you're good now.
Yeah, so I'm basically saying like if there's any proof of the existence of aliens or anything weird, it's because where the
Yeah.
fuck did music come from? Like, is it that certain notes resonate with us and we're like, oh, that sounds beautiful, or that sounds happy? Like,
Hold tight, we got us a little buffer again. Stonehenge got in the way of your connection. We'll get it fixed. Yeah, I'm gonna
is the
I'm gonna
connection?
pop
Yeah.
back another frame real quick. Yeah, it just had a little bit of a
All right.
buffer.
All right.
But it's all good, man. Let's see here. How do I go to the freaking? Yeah, hold tight. All right. We're good.
Uh, I was yeah. The last thing I said is that I think music is a gift, like a proper gift to heavens or wherever. I don't know from, but it seems like an unnamed kind of source of joy.
No, it certainly is. It's and me being a believer in Christ, I don't go to any churches or anything. I'm not a perfect Christian by any means. I've been to every denomination church. I don't even know if in England you have anything other than the Catholic Church when it comes to believing in like God, or if you have Protestant churches over
We
there and
we
things
have
like,
a few, and I think I'm Church of England. I don't know whether
okay,
different to the Catholic. I have my own beliefs.
yeah,
I
and that's
guess
kind of what you got to do is,
the Jesus's teachings, but whether or not I believe that there is God depicted. Sorry.
yeah, and that's why it's like I've kind of always lived my life. I've been to all these churches and people are like, you have to do this, you have to do that, and I'm like, you know, I have to sit back and think. I'm like, well, isn't this whole concept or construct of Christianity supposed to be an intimate relationship with me and God. You know, I was like, isn't that what this is supposed to be? If I'm looking at this Bible, yeah, I'm like, so why do I need to do anything for you? You know, I'm like,
Yes,
why do I need to like go and pray to the Mother Mary and stuff? I'm like, that seems very odd.
it's a
I'm
bit
like,
cult
you know,
like.
whenever I just yeah, I'd probably be stoned or something in England. I'd be like, no, not praying to Mary. They're like, get out of here.
But yes, it
You
also
know,
I find it
it's
annoying that we get like the last church service, all the other Christians. There's loads of other elitists kind of thing, which I don't like about religion. Like I think we should all
it
try and
is
love everybody
definitely that
and
way. Yeah, and
yeah, man.
that's all I
I should
can do, you know. And I
probably
was
get
reading.
I, was- I should probably get a move on shortly.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah,
got
man,
like
and I appreciate your time, man. You know, I can talk for hours, and we'll have to do another one of these soon, man. But
yeah,
before we,
man. That'd be
yeah,
cool.
man, for sure. And I'll make sure to put tag a link to all your stuff and everything in the description, so everyone can go out and find all your pages and whatnot. But it's been a pleasure, Will. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to chat about music and life and aliens and freaking us not going to the moon. It's been a good time, man. We had a little bit of a buffer there, but we'll
That's
still.
right,
But yeah, man, I appreciate you taking time to chat, man. It was awesome. And I
dude. It's
appreciate
been an
meeting you
absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
and keep rocking, man. I'm gonna keep watching your stuff and I might even steal some of your song choices for me to jam to, man. You got some good music taste, and
Do it,
we'll
man.
definitely.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how you, yeah, see if you're as good as me.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna try. I actually disconnected my double pedal. You know, seeing you, you know, the way you play, I'm like, man, fuck that. I got like
Yeah,
feet, but I'm gonna
fuck
just
double
focus
bass,
on the.
man. Fuck double bass. Double bass is so shit. The music was not designed notes hitting in
It's
the
a
low end.
lot.
Like, I
Yeah,
don't
we're
like it, but I
preparing
know,
for
yeah,
war.
man.
No,
Put
but
that
that's
double
awesome,
bass
man.
in.
Well, Will, it's been an absolute pleasure, man, and I hope we can do this again soon. And I'll make sure to share all your links and stuff in the description when I put this out there. But until next time, bud, it was great talking with you. See you, man.